You lock the door. You expect a closed room. But anyone standing just a few feet away can see your shoes. They can see the floor beneath you. If you drop something, they will watch it hit the tile. It feels like a design mistake. Like a contractor cut corners and left the privacy half-finished. But that gap is never an accident. In fact, it is one of the most deliberate pieces of engineering in any public building. And the reason it exists has almost nothing to do with saving money. Think about what happens when a public restroom reaches capacity. Hundreds of people cycle through. A teenager gets dizzy. A traveler feels chest pain. Someone collapses behind a locked door. If that door met the floor completely flush, there would be no way to check on them without breaking the wood, ripping out the hinges, or forcing the latch. Every second matters in that moment. The gap at the bottom changes the math. A first responder can drop to their knees, slide an arm underneath, and release the lock from the inside. They can reach a phone. They can check a pulse without turning a simple door into a barricade. That narrow strip of empty space is literally built for emergencies you hope never happen. But safety is only where the story starts. Once you step outside that stall and look at how the whole room actually functions, the gap begins to do something completely different. Public restrooms take a beating. Mops, spray bottles, heavy floor scrubbers, spilled water, tracked in mud. If every partition sealed tight against the tile, all that moisture would pool right along the seam. Paper would stick to the edge. Cleaning staff would have to stop, open every single door, and manually wipe the corners just to keep the room from smelling. The open space underneath turns a solid barrier into a pass-through. Maintenance crews can run a mop straight across without breaking stride. They can see exactly what they are cleaning. And because the floor stays dry, the hardware does not rust out after 6 months of humidity. That same pass-through creates something you never notice, but your lungs definitely feel. Air movement. Enclosed spaces trap heat, breath, and moisture. If each stall were its own sealed box, the air inside would grow heavy within minutes. The gap at the bottom lets cooler air drift in. The gap at the top lets warmer air escape. It works like a quiet chimney, pulling stale air out and pulling fresh air in without anyone flipping a switch. You step into a room that has been used all day, and it still feels breathable. That is not luck. It is physics built into a wooden frame. You start to notice something else when you watch the room during a busy rush. People do not just guess which stalls are open. They look down. The gaps give you an instant, completely passive way to read the room. You do not need to knock. You do not need to wait outside a door wondering if someone is just fixing their jacket or actually occupied. You see shoes. You see movement. You see an empty floor and know exactly where to go next. That tiny visual cue keeps the line moving. It prevents bottlenecks. It removes that awkward pause where everyone stands near the sinks pretending not to stare. The architecture handles the coordination for you. And then there is the part nobody likes to talk about out loud. Human behavior. Give people total isolation in a high-traffic space, and the space stops working for its actual purpose. Solid floor-to-ceiling stalls invite problems that are hard to police. Vandalism spikes when there are zero sight lines. People try to sleep there. They leave trash behind. They treat a temporary room like a private hideout. The gaps introduce just enough awareness to keep the environment functional. You are not completely exposed, but you are also not completely hidden. That mild, almost subconscious visibility is a quiet boundary. It tells you, without a single sign, that this room is shared. It is temporary, and it is meant to keep moving. Underneath all of this is a much simpler engineering reality. Buildings settle. Floors shift. Doors suck. If you install heavy partitions that must meet the tile perfectly, Any slight movement in the foundation will cause the wood to scrape, the latch to jam, or the frame to warp. The gap absorbs that natural movement. It keeps the door swinging smoothly for years, even when the floor underneath is no longer perfectly level. It reduces the need for constant alignment, heavy-duty hardware, and custom framing. What looks like a shortcut is actually a tolerance buffer. It is the exact amount of space needed to make standard materials work reliably in a space that sees thousands of touches a day. You spend years avoiding that strip of space. You adjust your stance. You pull your clothes tighter. You assume the designer just did not care about privacy. But the moment you see how all these pieces connect, the discomfort starts to shift. It is not a missing wall. It is a carefully negotiated trade. It keeps doors from jamming when someone passes out inside. It keeps the floor dry when the cleaning crew comes through at midnight. It keeps the air from turning heavy after the morning rush. It keeps the line moving without awkward knocking. It keeps the space from being misused. And it keeps the hardware from failing when the building shifts by half an inch. Public design is rarely about giving you perfect isolation. It is about balancing competing needs in a space that has to survive real life. The stall door does not fail to close completely. It closes exactly enough. It leaves just enough room for safety, hygiene, airflow, visibility, and long-term durability to overlap in a single, quiet detail. Next time you step into a public restroom, glance down at that familiar gap. You will realize it is not a flaw you have to tolerate. It is the reason the room still works. And once you know what it is actually doing, you will never look at it the same way again.